The modern workplace often presents itself as a space built on openness. Glass walls, open offices, smiling managers. Everything is designed to make you feel heard. And then one day, an email arrives. Subject line: Anonymous Employee Feedback Survey. It promises something powerful. A safe space. A voice without consequences. A chance to be honest. You hesitate for a moment. Then you click. Because you believe this is your opportunity to say what really needs to be said. A junior employee sits at his desk. He starts typing carefully at first, then more freely. He writes about unrealistic deadlines, about a manager who takes credit for his work, about a culture that rewards silence more than truth. For the first time, he feels relief, because this time his words are anonymous, or at least that's what he believes. Across the office, dozens of employees are doing the same, each one convinced that their identity is hidden, each one believing they are safe. But in many cases, anonymity is not as absolute as it appears, because behind the survey, there is a system, and systems are designed to collect data, not just opinions. Let's break this illusion. Most corporate surveys are run through platforms. These platforms often track metadata, not necessarily your name, but things like time of submission, department, device type, location. Individually, these details seem harmless, but combined, they create a pattern. Imagine this. A department has only 5 employees. Only one of them works late regularly. Only one uses a specific type of laptop. Only one is known for criticizing management. Now combine that with a survey response submitted at 11:47 p.m. Suddenly, anonymous starts to look very identifiable. Companies rarely say this directly. Instead, they rely on wording. Your responses are confidential, not anonymous. There is a difference. Confidential means your data is protected. Anonymous means your identity cannot be traced. These are not the same, and most employees never notice that distinction because they want to believe the system is fair. They want to believe honesty will be rewarded. But organizations don't just collect feedback. They analyze behavior. Patterns matter more than words. Even writing style can be revealing. Sentence length, tone, vocabulary. In smaller teams, this becomes even easier because people already know how you think. They've seen your emails. They've heard you speak. So when your anonymous response sounds familiar, it doesn't take much to connect the dots. Now, to be clear, not every company is actively trying to expose employees. Many genuinely want feedback. But systems are not neutral. They are built for insight. And insight often requires context. So what happens after the survey? Management reviews the results. They look for trends, low morale, leadership issues, team conflicts. But sometimes they also look deeper. Who is dissatisfied? Where is resistance coming from? Which team is the most critical? And this is where things become subtle. No one calls you out directly. No confrontation. No accusation. But something shifts. You are no longer seen the same way. Your ideas start getting less attention. Your manager becomes slightly distant. Opportunities quietly pass you by. Nothing obvious. Nothing you can prove. Just a change in atmosphere. And that's what makes this system so effective. It doesn't punish openly. It adjusts quietly. Now imagine the opposite scenario. An employee writes only positive feedback, even if they don't fully believe it. Their tone aligns with leadership. Their comments reinforce the system. Over time, they are seen as aligned, supportive, reliable. Again, no one says it directly. but perception shapes opportunity. This creates an invisible pressure, not to lie, but to filter, to soften criticism, to stay within safe boundaries. And slowly, the survey becomes something else. Not a tool for truth, but a test of positioning. So, how should you approach these surveys? Not with fear, but with awareness. Understand that anonymity is not absolute. Treat every response as if it could be read with context, because in many cases, it will be. That doesn't mean you should stay silent, but it does mean you should be strategic. Focus on systems, not individuals. Instead of saying, "My manager is incompetent," say, "Communication clarity in leadership could be improved." This isn't about being fake. It's about being precise. The goal is not to hide your message. The goal is to deliver it in a way that cannot be used against you. Because in the end, corporate systems are not built on emotion. They are built on interpretation, and interpretation depends on how your message is framed. So the next time you receive an anonymous survey, pause for a moment, not to doubt yourself, but to understand the system you're interacting with, because real power in the workplace doesn't come from speaking loudly. It comes from knowing when, how, and where your voice actually matters. And sometimes, the safest truth is the one that cannot be traced back to you.